Let me introduce my group mates. We have Renee Wong, Xuan Hao, Tam Yazi, and Phua Renee. For our law assignment, the two countries that we have chosen to write about regarding the variances of employment law are China and Malaysia. Regarding the time of payment of wages, for Malaysia, it should not be later than the 7th day of the last day of any wage period. For China, it is depending on the agreement between the employer and the employee. According to Wages Council Act 1947, there is no national minimum wages. Whereas in China, it is depending on the districts, as every district has different minimum wages. For example, in Beijing, the minimum wages is set from 1,160 RMB and in Shanghai, 1,280 RMB. The payment of wages for both Malaysia and China is the same, which is by cash. In Malaysia, the minimum age of employment is different between the East and the Peninsular Malaysia. As for the Peninsular Malaysia, teenagers younger than the age of 14 years old are only allowed to work between 7 AM and 8 PM. In Sarawak, teenagers below 16 years old are forbidden from being employed, whereas in Sabah, teenagers below 14 years old are prohibited from working. For China, the minimum age of employment is 16 years old. In Malaysia, the retirement age is different between the public and the private sector. For the private sector, the compulsory retirement age will be raised from 55 to 60, with an option for 4 years extension. While for the public sector, if you have served the government for the minimum duration of 10 years, you can choose to retire at the age of 40. Whereas if you have served the government for less than 10 years, the retirement age will be 56 years old. In China, for women who are working for the government with 10 years working experiences or more, the retirement age is at 55 years old, while the retirement age for ordinary male worker is 60 years old and female is 50 years old. In both Malaysia and China, the annual leaves given to the employees are depending on the period of working with the company. In Malaysia, 8 days within a year are given to the employee who has been employed less than 2 years. 12 days are given to the employee who has been employed for 2 to 5 years, and 16 days are given to the employees who has been employed for more than 5 years. While in China, 5 days are given to the employee who has been working for 1 to 10 years. 10 days are given within a year for the employee who has been working for 10 to 20 years, and 15 days within a year for an employee who has been working for more than 20 years. For both Malaysia and China, each week, one rest day of one whole day, as may be determined by the employer, should be given to the employee. For maternity leaves in Malaysia, a period of not less than 60 consecutive days will be given to the female employees. Whereas in China, a period of not less than 90 consecutive days will be given to the female workers. In Malaysia, an employee is entitled for paid sick leave when no hospitalization is required. For an employee who has been working for less than 2 years, 14 days are given. For an employee who has been working for 2 to 5 years, 18 days are given. For employees who have been working for more than 5 years, 22 days are given. For sick leave where hospitalization is necessary as certified by registered medical practitioners, 60 days are permitted per year. For China, the employee is entitled to paid sick leave although no hospitalization is necessary. However, the labor law in China does not define the provision of leaves on short term. With actual working period less than 10 years and working with the current company for less than 5 years, 3 months of leaves are given. With actual working period less than 10 years and working with the current company for more than 5 years, 6 months of leaves are given. With actual working period more than 10 years and working with the current company for more than 5 years, 6 months of leaves are given. With actual working period more than 10 years, working with the current company for 5 to 10 years, 9 months of leaves are given to the employee. Provided that the employee has been working with the current company for 10 to 15 years, 12 months of leaves are given. Provided that the employee has been working with the current company for 15 to 20 years, 18 months of leaves are given. Provided that the employee has been working with the current company for more than 20 years, 24 months of leaves are given. In Malaysia, employees are entitled to paid holiday on 10 gazetted public holidays. 4 of it include the National Day, the birthday of Yang di Pertuan Agong, the birthday of the ruler of the state, and Labor Day. On the other hand, the employees in China are entitled to paid holiday on gazetted public holidays, which include National Day for 7 days, New Year's for 3 days, Chinese New Year's for 7 days, and Labor Days for 3 days. For the dismissal and firing procedures in Malaysia, the workers with less than 2 years of service, 4 weeks of notice must be prepared. For employees with 2 to 5 years of service, 6 weeks of notice must be prepared. For employees with more than 5 years of service, 8 weeks of notice must be prepared. In China, the dismissal or firing procedure is the employer must prepare a 30 days notice prior to termination of staff, regardless of staff's working period in the company. For both China and Malaysia, the employer has the right to terminate his or her employees, but notice should be made prior to termination depending on the period of working with the company. If the company fails to provide a notice prior to termination, the employees have the right to receive compensation depending on his or her working period with the company. Another termination benefit that an employee can get is severance pay, which is as a reward to the loyalty of the employee. In Malaysia, for an employee who has been working for less than 2 years, 10 days of wages will be given. For an employee who has been working for 2 to 5 years, 15 days of wages will be given. For an employee who has been working for more than 5 years, 20 days of wages will be given. While in China, every 1 year of working period, the employee will be given 1 month wages as severance pay. For an employee who has been employed for less than 6 months, half-month wages will be given as severance pay. For an employee who has been employed for 6 to 12 months, 1 month of wages will be given as severance pay. There are several dispute channels that the employees can go through in Malaysia, which include Jabatan Buruh, Minister of Human Resource, and Industrial Court. Whereas in China, they are Labor Union, Labor Dispute Mediation Committee, Labor Dispute Arbitration Committee, and the Court of China.